I don't expect to see the AUKUS agreement as a whole, which is the military technology sharing agreement, annulled, but I do believe that AUKUS Pillar 1 is at risk. There is no issue of AUKUS Pillar 2, the joint production of asymmetrical weapons and so on, but AUKUS Pillar 1 is at risk because from the Americans' point of view, the worst of all worlds is that they don't have enough submarines. The Australians aren't spending enough in cannibalising our own existing forces. We're not building facilities we need to actually operate and maintain the submarines that we want to buy from the Americans. And we're actually weaker now. Sorry, we're weaker in 5 years than we will be now because we're not spending enough money on defence. That is the worst of all possible worlds for the Americans. So I do think AUKUS Pillar 1 is at risk.
Well, that's really worrying. You mentioned the word cannibalising. I take it by that you mean that, no, the Defence Minister, the Deputy Prime Minister, Richard Marles, has said that basically AUKUS is so big it's taking up 0.7% of GDP.
Yeah.
In a budget of 2%, which has been static now for the last decade at least, that means we're only spending about 1.3 on present capability. The difference, I understand, involves a rescoping of over 80 billion. It makes a farce of the Prime Minister claiming that they're upping defence spending.
Yeah.
When in effect they've rescoped in the next few years 82 billion out on the basis that no, AUKUS has to be largely funded within the existing envelope, leaving us with such critical technologies that you would have thought we'd absolutely be falling over ourselves to get now. Missile defence systems, missile attack systems if we needed them, drone capability so obviously needed, the ability to do something about defending the places that might very well be attacked, even if Australia's not involved in a conflict.
Yeah. Well, Bridge Colby, the reviewer of this AUKUS report that will come out, he has suggested 3% of GDP for us. Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defence, has suggested 3.5%. Now, those figures weren't plucked out of thin air. Those figures are based on what we ourselves say we need to do to fund AUKUS Pillar 1 and develop our existing forces to the level that we say we need under the government's own strategic defence review, Albanese's own strategic defence review. So those figures that the Americans have used, they've looked at our reports. I know that for a fact. They've looked at the Albanese's government's own assessments about defence posture and concluded that you need to spend 3 to 3.5% of defence to meet the minimal needs of what you say you'll need. So from the Americans' point of view, it's, they're already struggling to produce enough submarines of their own. From their point of view, AUKUS Pillar 1, they may conclude that it is a huge expense that is overly extravagant and detrimental to both the Australian force posture and the American force posture. That is the risk if we don't spend more.